You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots, you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Jim Norton is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. We'll start off with the more obscure celebration today. World Trick Shot Day. I don't know what they're referring to. So that could be basketball. It could be pool. I'm not. Are you a pool player?
No, not much anymore. Don't have the time.
Yeah, I was never a pool player. I didn't know how to do that. But you know, what my favorite though? I'm going to go with basketball. Maybe they're talking about basketball. Harlem Globetrotters.
First thing I thought of is trick shooting. You know, like
With the gun?
Annie Oakley.
Annie Oakley.
Or trick shot.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that one either. So I guess I'm a little slow here. I guess I'm the only one that doesn't know what the heck we're talking about. Okay, let's move right along. How about Cotton Candy Day? I like cotton candy, although I don't like getting my fingers all dirty. It's good for the kids. You know, if I was in Vegas, I could cause a lot of trouble right now. So you get cotton candy for the little ones. Josh, send your kids some cotton candy. I can just see Josh in the on the screen here. No, thank you. No, we don't want that.
Little sugar.
Little extra sugar. Give that to the little ones, and then say, "Here, Mom. Here, Dad. See you later. I'm out of here." All right. That's the way we old people do it, right, Jim?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's our job. But hey, you know something? On a serious note, today's Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. Pearl Harbor. I saw in the news this morning there are 40 survivors from Pearl Harbor that went to Pearl Harbor for the Remembrance Day today.
Oh, really? I thought we were down pretty much to the last person from World War II or something.
Yeah, there's not a lot left, but I guess there's some bad storms out there in Hawaii, and these 40 went there for Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. So pretty bleak day in our history. So it's and we certainly appreciate every veteran, but boy, the men and women that were there at Pearl Harbor. You ever gone to Pearl Harbor and to check out the memorial there? Something you've got to do at least once in your lifetime. It's pretty somber right there. But and then the president, he's over there. He's out talking today with President Putin. So. Wonder if there's any significance to that being on Pearl Harbor Day. I don't know. With our president, you gotta wonder. But I do hope, like every American should, that I hope that there is a successful meeting today. Hey, let's move on to the markets. Dow Jones up 532 points. It was up a little bit more than that earlier. S&P 500 is up 95. NASDAQ, wow, that's up 452 points. Almost 3% today. The Dow is up 1.5%. NASDAQ up almost 3%. Oil up another $3 a barrel. Ow! Yeah, so that's not an exciting one. See what else is going on in the world in the news. Hey, how about Long Beach? You gotta love it. I can't make this stuff up. Now, I don't know if you saw this one. Jim, you might have saw this because you're an early riser too. But Long Beach, they've decided that it's not fair to those that are in wheelchairs that they can't get to the ocean. So Long Beach is going to put a mat out going from the strand to the ocean so you can roll your wheelchair across the mat. I don't make this stuff up, but you have to wonder sometimes. Well, I don't wonder sometimes. I think I know. But I mean, where do you come up with these things? And I feel bad for those that are in a wheelchair, that they do have limited access. But on a smaller scale, I need to have double knee replacement at my size. It's probably not the best thing in the world to do. But here's the issue. I know there's certain things I can't do, and I'm not asking somebody else to change the world for me. Maybe that sounds cold. Maybe that sounds callous. Tell me what you think. I don't know. So if you see a long blue neoprene map going from the strand to the water. Now, if the wheelchair-bound individual gets stuck closer to the water, or there's some, I guess skiing, they call it molehills, but I don't know what you call it in the sand. If it's not perfectly smooth, then what happens? I think that to me sounds a little scarier than the rest of it as to what do they do then? How do they get back? How do they get in the water? Are we going to have to put in, I don't know if you go to some of the hotels they have, or if you go to a gym. Well, I don't go to gyms. But if I went to a gym, I would have seen that for some of the therapy pools, they've got those hoists that somebody, that if you have some mobility issues, you get on a hoist and it lifts you in and out of the water. Yeah, they use an oversized hoist for me, but are they going to put those in at the edge of the ocean? I just don't know. I don't. And then what do you do with high tide and low tide? I don't know. I should stop there. Let's take a look at what else. Hey, this is something we're going to chat with Jim Norton about today. Cash out refinancing hits a 14-year high as home equity sets a new record. Just saw this in one of the articles this morning. Equity withdrawn via cash out refinance 2021 quarter three, about $70 billion. Back in 2005 quarter three, it was a little over $100 billion. So we'll see what's going on. But here's the issue. Back in 2003, what were we doing with that? Or 2005, what were we doing with that money? Yeah, we were buying a car, we were buying a boat, we were buying toys, depreciable assets. Yeah, now I don't know that we're doing that. This is all according to Black Knight. They're the one that monitors this, does this mortgage monitor report. The amount of money homeowners could access while retaining at least 20% of equity in their homes rose to more than $9.4 trillion from $9.2 trillion in the previous quarter. Back in the first quarter, owners had just $8.1 trillion in tappable equity. And as of year-end 2020, they had $7.3 trillion. So homeowners have added, if my math is correct, about $2 trillion, a little over $2 trillion in the last year. A lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Right? And
Available.
That's not just that's not the equity, that's the available equity. So think about that. What are you doing with that money? Where are you going with that money?
Oh, what's it say for what interest? How much interest is that money earning?
In their houses?
Yes.
I think that would be zero. Yeah, nada.
The Ron Siegel radio mantra, right?
Yeah,
there.
nada. No money coming out of that.
No money for sitting on it.
No money. No rate of return on home equity. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, what do you do with that money? We'll talk to Jim Norton about it. Why it just became much easier to buy a home. We'll find out that answer. And I don't know. Do we have a featured home today? Yeah, Josh says we have a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. Very focused show. Let's take a look and see what's going on. The the Mortgage Minute today, being brought to you by. I just throw those curveballs at Josh all the time, and he's just in the background shaking his head at me. Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Dow Jones is now up 526 points. NASDAQ is up 465. S&P 500 is up 94.8. 10-year Treasury is up 2 basis points. 1.45 is the yield on that one. Still not very exciting. Mortgage-backed securities, those are down 9 basis points, which means interest rates are up ever so slightly. Why is this happening? Well, it's a shame to see what's going on. So first off, this is good news, right? So we're finally getting people to realize that the Omicron variant, less severe, right? So it's kind of like they're saying a common cold. I know the media doesn't want you to hear that. The administration doesn't want you to hear that. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. I tell it like it is. CoreLogic released their home price index report showing that home prices rose by 1.3% in October, 18% year over year, which is unchanged from the previous report, and the highest reading in 45-year history of the index. The pace of appreciation, as we expected, appears to have reached its maximum on a year-over-year basis. We still see some monthly gains. Detached homes appreciated an even higher pace, 19.5%. Now, CoreLogic does a great job of reporting what happened. You have to ignore them when they try and forecast, because for the last almost 2 years now, they have not done a good job. They're the ones that said that real estate was going to depreciate, not just slow down, but go down 6.6%, and we're up about 30% since then. But hey, let's take a look at their forecast anyway. Home price appreciation, they anticipated 0.1% in the month, and we went up 1.9%. Missed it by just a little bit, 1.8 in a month. Massive. They continue to miss forecasts by a large margin. They're still saying that they're going to forecast 2.5% next year. 2.5%. Really? I think.
You know better than that.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen. It's going to be a lot more. Goldman Sachs, 16%. Zillow, 14%. Fannie Mae, rise 7.5%. I'm going to tell you it's going to go up by more than that, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Phoenix, 31% up. San Diego, you're up 22%. Las Vegas, Josh, you're up 24%. 24%. Are you ready to sell yet? Right? You don't want to move again. But hey, that's a lot going on. So why do I say that real estate? We're going to talk to Jim Norton about this one too. Why do I say that the appreciation is going to continue on a high level? Well, we just got the new lending limits come out, and appreciation is based on median home sales. has nothing to do with the house at the end of your street, right? So it's just how many go for median. So what does median mean? That means that half the houses in the marketplace sold for over that amount, half the houses sold it for less. Sold it. That's a great English, right?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay. Now, with FHFA just raising the lending limit by as much as they did, huge increase in the lending limit. Well, now they didn't change the low end because that's zero. The high end is where the change took place. So all those homes that get added in that high end are going to get added to the calculation for the median home price. $970,000 in the highest price markets. That means in Orange County, California, you can buy $1,020,000 house, 5% down. You can buy $1.6 million, 3.5% down FHA loan. $1.6 million.
It does. You would never thought it.
Right?
I'm stunned. I'm speechless. For me to be speechless, there you go.
And that never happens.
No, never happens.
Never happens.
Trust me on that.
Okay, so
$1.6 million on an FHA.
On
We're
an
not
FHA.
talking a jumbo anymore.
right, $1.6 million FHA loan. You don't have to go through jumbo guidelines.
Nothing.
No reserves on either one of those loans, right?
PMI.
Well, you might have PMI. I mean, you can do PMI on the on
PMI
both.
on $1.6 million loan.
Well,
There's something
PMI
funny about that idea.
PMI is on the $1.20 million. MIP
Yeah.
is on the $1.6 million,
There
just
you
to be
go.
technically
Okay.
correct. Because I get these people that say, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about because
Right.
it's not PMI on $1 million on an FHA loan."
It's not a commercial.
Right. Okay. So that's the mortgage more than 1 minute. Brought to you by Geneva Financial. So Jim, when I don't want to put you on the spot because I know you've been doing this for at least since the turn of the century. I didn't say which century.
Yeah, I feel it.
Okay. So do you remember what the lending limits were when you started? Just a guess, ballpark. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know what they were when I did.
Oh my God. I think it was like about, I want to say close to 150.
150,000.
Yeah, my first house was a $115,000 townhome. And I remember a friend of mine at work, I was working for a home builder at the time, and he was buying a $250,000 house. That was
Wow.
that was close to, that was what you would say million today.
Yeah, at least more.
250.
Well, it was 250 in 2019. It might be $1 million today, but that's
Right,
that's a
exactly.
different story.
But you know, the terms of the stretch in your mind, it was, you know, I mean, $1 million home was just an amazing home.
And I hear people now talking about $1 million homes in Orange County and Los Angeles County. Those are starter homes,
Yes.
and I don't know how people afford it. I mean,
Let's pick on Yorba Linda. There's tracts in Yorba Linda that are brand new by home builders that are starting at $1.2 million, $1.4 million. And I think you get vinyl flooring, you know.
Yeah.
I'm making this up, but you know what I'm saying? Builder grade. You're not even doing your upgrades yet.
getting $1 million
they're at
home
$1
$1 million home and it's dirt floor. But I mean, that's and think about that. Just the principal and interest on $1 million home is probably right around $4,300, $4,400.
Now it is.
Just principal and interest on that property.
Yeah.
So let's go back to what we started talking about in my monologue, right? Was the concept of all this money being available that people can actually take out of their house for a wise purpose now.
Yes, let's try to pitch the wise purpose rather than the frivolous purchase. There really isn't. It's interesting. We're talking back to 2005. You remember people were tapping equity 1 to 2, 3 times because things were rising, and they were going out and buy a car. They were putting in big pools, and then the real estate market collapsed because of the way the lending was. I remember people were talking about the best deal was Laguna Niguel because they all came with a brand new pool that they had just put in, and now they're foreclosed on. But this time, nobody's talking about toys. They're not available. It's real hard to buy a car.
Yeah, it's hard to buy a car
It's
right
hard
now.
to buy anything, you know. So it's hard, and it's really hard to get anything done because the contractors are so stretched out trying to do remodels.
I was with somebody yesterday and they said they're putting in a new kitchen, and they went to buy the refrigerator.
There you go.
And the refrigerator, when they clicked on purchase what they wanted, said you have to call in. So they called in. Take a wild guess at what the amount of time it was going to take to get the refrigerator.
12 weeks. I'm probably not doing. I'm probably short.
What'd you say?
I said 12 weeks, but I'm short.
22 months.
Months. There you go.
22 months, 2 years to get a refrigerator.
Well,
I think maybe they need to change the refrigerator that they want.
Well, it's got a chip in it.
Yeah,
it does. It has.
And I wanted one with no chips. I like mine perfect.
I just want an ice maker that works. So
it's amazing, right? I mean,
it is. It's
now,
absolutely phenomenal.
To me, I'm a little thrifty, maybe. So I think every one of the refrigerators we've ever had since we've been married has all come, and I don't even know if it's still there. The Sears outlet store down in Santa Ana. Right, it had a little chip in it or a dent in it on the side and the back that was hidden by the cabinets. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I mean, I didn't care about that little.
But look at the sophistication, or the I would call them gimmicks, but I'll say sophistication. But some have a screen on them, and you can write. Some will keep inventory as you take it out. It'll check it off.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to keep an inventory of what I'm taking out of the refrigerator.
It's just over and over. It says Oreo, or something for the kid. I'm stealing the kids' Oreos. But
mine would say, "You're too fat. Close the door." I mean, my wife would probably program it that way, right?
Exactly. Get out of the refrigerator.
Maybe they'll have a calorie counter, right? You pull out another Oreo. Yeah. And it says, there's another 200 calories.
If there was one on the wine cooler, I'd bust it. I'd smash it.
Don't touch that. Don't touch my wine cooler. There's a lot that we could talk about. Don't mess with my wine cooler.
I think on one of our visits a couple of months ago, we talked about one of the builders that was either Toll Brothers or it was Lennar. I can't remember. But he came on and said they had, on the news channels, and he had readjusted their projections because of the fact they couldn't get appliances for their new homes. And so remember, they could build the homes, but they couldn't put anything in it. So they brought their projections down and the amount of homes they're going to complete.
Well, and one of them stopped selling the homes because they said they could rent them out.
Right. Or then, that was a different animal.
Yeah, that was a different one. They could rent it out. Hey, we're going to continue our conversation with Jim Norton when we come back. I think we might even talk about, why it just became much easier to buy a home. We'll figure that out as well. You can reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find that dream home before someone else does. Or you can visit our website, rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. Why it just became much easier to buy a home. Since the pandemic began, Americans have reevaluated the meaning of the word home. That's led some renters to realize the many benefits of home ownership, including the feelings of security and stability and the financial benefits that come with rising home equity. At the same time, many current homeowners have decided their house no longer meets the needs, so they moved into homes with more space inside and out, including a home office for remote work. However, not every purchaser has been able to fulfill their desire for a new home. Two obstacles some home buyers are facing. Number one, the ability to save for a down payment and the ability to qualify for a mortgage at current lending standards. This past week, both of those challenges have been mitigated to some degree for many purchasers. The FHFA, which handles mortgages by Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, and the Federal Housing Administration, is raising its loan limit easy for me to say, for prospective purchasers in 2022. The term used to describe the maximum loan amount they will entertain is the conforming loan limit. What is the difference between a conforming loan and a non-conforming loan? According to Investopedia, quote, conforming loans are the only loans that meet the requirements to be acquired by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Jumbo loans, which exceed the conforming limit, are the most common type of non-conforming loan, unquote. What difference does it make to me as a home buyer? A Forbes article earlier this year explains the benefits of conforming loan and why they exist. Quote, since lenders can't sell non-conforming loans to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac to free up their cash, they're a bit riskier for the lender. This is especially true for jumbo loans, which aren't backed by any government guarantees. If you default on a jumbo loan, it's a huge blow to the lender. Thus, lenders generally charge higher interest rates to compensate, and they can have even more requirements. For example, lenders who get out jumbo loans often require that you make a down payment of at least 20% and show that you have at least 6 months worth of cash in reserve, if not more, unquote. There are exceptions to every rule. What happened last week? The FHA has significantly increased its conforming loan limits for 2022. Sandra L. Thompson, FHFA Acting Director, explains in the press release that, quote, compared to previous years, the 2022 conforming loan limits represent a significant increase due to the historic house price appreciation over the last year. While 95% of U.S. counties will be subject to the new baseline limit of $647,200, approximately 100 counties will have conforming limits approaching $1 million, unquote. This means that more homes now qualify for a conforming loan with lower down payment requirements and easier lending standards, the two challenges holding many buyers back over the last year. The Federal Housing Administration also increased its conforming loan limits for 2022. That can also mean easier path to homeownership for many prospective buyers, as Forbes explains, quote, FHA loans can be very beneficial if you don't have as much savings or if your credit score could use some work, unquote. Bottom line, buying your first or your next home may have just gotten much easier, less stringent qualifying standards, and less expensive, possibly mortgage rate. Let's chat about it to see how this works, what this means for you. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment. So Fannie and Freddie, they're coming out saying the same things you and I are saying.
Yep.
Well, they wrote it pretty quick, didn't they? Pretty amazing stuff. Now, you know, Jim and I were just chatting, if you were listening to us in the last segment, about some of the differences between 2007, 2008. And I was able to grab a quick screenshot, and we'll probably be posting this later today. But Jim, you know what one of the big differences are in appreciation between 2005, 6, 7, 8, and now? It's the economics 101, supply and demand. Right, I'm looking at a chart right now, and if my eyes were good enough, because this chart's pretty small. Back in the demand, back in 2007, 3.7 million. Today we're looking at demand of 12 million more households.
Mm-hmm.
So you think the price are going to go down when you've got 4 times requirement?
Well, you don't have the pressure. You have better underwriting, so you've got solid buyers in their homes.
Right.
You've got supply and demand issue problems. You've got labor they're tracking how many people are quitting, but they're not quitting and retiring. They're not quitting and going off to sit on a beach. they're just shifting jobs. You know, I forgot what they called. They nicknamed it something.
Yeah, I saw. I don't remember that either. But yeah,
4 million. But they're just moving to better jobs. I mean, if you're not happy with your job, you just move and you go up a little bit in salary. So the point being is the labor market is solid. So you're looking at this total difference, but now that's really stressful on the market as far as supply and demand. Whereas before we had, you know, a little bit of
supply
labor
chain
difference
issue.
and everything. I mean, you just can't create that many houses, and then of course then you have a construction issue. You can't have the type of houses. I mean,
well, if you can't get a refrigerator, you're probably not going to get them into the house, right?
Exactly.
You go out into the ice box.
But we used to build different product levels, and that's what's gone. That's what's disappeared in California. And they're trying to make up with it by saying, well, you can do an ADU. Second unit in your backyard type of thing.
Why would we want to though?
I don't know. Why would you want to build a rental? Now I can understand if you're looking out for your parents. Your parents are in their house. You have backyard big enough. You build a unit for them. They sell their house. They move into that. They get to stay in Orange County. But we don't build that small starter.
But our parents aren't moving because they can't afford to move, right? Until we just came out with our newest program, and if you didn't catch us last week talking about this, RSR Alpha 3 Tax Guard, RSR Alpha 3 Tax Guard, taxguard.com. Josh, would you put that on the screen because I can't speak? RSR Alpha 3 taxguard.com. Right? You have $1.5 million house, and you bought it when Jim got his first house, and they were like $10,000. Right, so now you've got $1.4 million in equity. You go to sell that. Now you've got $1 million, give or take, tax liability. Right, with our RSR Alpha 3 taxguard.com, no tax liability there at all. Right, but the seniors are saying, you know, I can't afford to move, and then they got to deal with their property taxes.
Right. And then, but
so ADU or not,
but you can't also, it doesn't make, you're not going to move to San Diego. You're not going to move to, I think you mentioned San Diego, you mentioned Nevada.
And Phoenix.
They're up, and Phoenix, they're up over 20%. All three of those markets were above the 20 number.
Right.
So that means that moving there because it's more affordable is not.
Right.
So you still have the same supply and demand issue across the country.
Well, you used to be able to go to Palm Springs. Now you have to go to Salton Sea.
Exactly.
Right? And if you've ever been to the Salton Sea, maybe you don't want to be.
You don't want to.
I'll just throw that out there for you. Not that I have anything against the Salton Sea, but
periodically
they've got this smell that comes off the...
Farther out. It used to be you'd buy a condo in townhome or something at Palm Springs, but even that market has changed.
Yeah, Palm Springs is expensive now.
Especially because of the, have you been, I don't know if you've been out, but we were out in the Menifee area. The amount of warehouses and logistic areas and the
you got to bring labor out there.
It's huge, and they're tapping that labor pool. I mean, Amazon alone is probably half of the buildings that are being built out.
Well, if you've ever driven along the 60 out there, the Sketcher building is
right.
It's
like
crazy.
Driving past a mountain. You're still looking at it about half an hour later.
I can check my mirrors 4 times, and I'm still going by the Sketcher building. And that's not during traffic, right? I mean, if it was traffic out there, then
no, they have traffic. I mean, when was the last time you could go off the 215/60 and not be crawling?
I think I did that
it's amazing.
about a month and a half ago, but it was also like 11:30 at night. So, but it used to take me an hour and a half to go to Palm Desert, and last time I came back, it took me 3 hours. So that was not exciting.
So supply and demand is a huge factor, and yet we're still not filling those markets that we need, product types that we need.
Thank goodness that Hanukkah is over, because I saw some of my Christmas celebrating friends out at the beach the other day, and they were doing this swimming. I said, "What the heck are you doing? It's cold out there. We've got to go get our Christmas presents out in the ocean, right on those tankers." Right? I mean, it's kind of crazy still with trying to get stuff going on.
Supply chains. I mean, it's an interesting world when we have supply chains. It's an interesting world when chips are everything. I mean, and it's
and at my size, the only chips I like are potato chips.
Chocolate chips.
Chocolate chips, that works too.
But
Something the concept here though is, I mean, people are still buying to move up, and if there's no new construction coming online in California, we want to talk about building more affordable housing, but it doesn't make sense to build affordable housing in California just because the permits and the process before you can break ground costs basically the same thing to build a $400,000 house it costs to build $1 million house.
Yes.
So why build? The economics are okay if it's 15% or 20% of $1 million house. Well, that means it's 50% of the $400,000 house. What are you going to do? Not build it. Right? It doesn't make sense for builders. They're in it for the capital. Now, if the government wanted to make affordable housing, they just streamline that process. You know what? I spoke in jest about those mats going out to the beach for the handicap accessible mats. Are you allowed to say handicap accessible? I don't know if I can say that or not. But you know what the holdup is on it? The environmental engineering. Right? I mean, got to take care of the Delta smelt. I don't know if they're on the sand out there right now or not.
The grunion.
The grunion, right? I mean, how do we get the grunion going?
Yeah, how do we get them? Make sure the grunion won't try to dig through the mat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts. We're going to continue our conversation with Jim Norton when we come back. We've got a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. What are we going to do with all that home equity? We still haven't got to that,
No,
Jim.
we haven't even talked about
Featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net, all that and more. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. A featured home today being brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. 429 Ridgeway in Irvine. 429 Ridgeway in Irvine. 92620. It is brought to you by Special Agent Mike Dunn. You can reach him at specialagentdunn@gmail.com. I'm a little slow, Jim, so you're going to laugh at me on this one. So Special Agent Dunn, he's done this for years. He's been using this byline or branding as Special Agent Dunn. Now, I'm slow, okay? So I'm looking at his properties, and this one here, 429 Ridgeway, is listed. You can't hear me? What? Josh is waving at me, so I'm hoping that. Are you able to hear me, Josh? Okay, so I need to. So we'll see where the heck we were. Maybe Josh. I guess we give Josh a little more work. He's gonna have to cut out something here, and we'll get things going. But hey, in any event, featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. 429 Ridgeway in Irvine. Hope I got that right. It's brought to you by my friend Mike Dunn. Special Agent Dunn at gmail.com. So list price on this is $749,007. And it took me forever, Jim. I mean, now this is pretty rare for Mike, because generally Mike's dealing with properties that are seven-figure properties. And they all end in $7. And I'm a little slow. I admit it that you know something. Sometimes I'm a simple guy. Special agent, and they end in 007. You know, it took me a while.
Right.
Okay, but hey, this one absolutely stunning condo, 24 hours gated Northwest Villas in the award-winning community of Northwood Point in Irvine. Could be the best done deal you'll ever see in real estate. 2 bedrooms with their own bathroom, spacious open floor plan with a view deck and a California room. Enjoy a pool inside the gates with spa and an Olympic-sized pool at Meadowwood Park. Heated year-round with a lifeguard during the summer months. Investors, this will lease for $3,500 a month.
Refresh the screen. I'm sure it's gone already.
Yeah.
I mean, $749 in Irvine, just right there alone. I was thinking that I might have to step out and call.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
now think about this one.
here's the
bargain. Numbers. FHA, $3,100 a month, $3,101.
What were you guessing the rental?
3,500 is what he put.
He put 3,500, and
he's smarter than me.
He's low.
Okay, and let's see, 20% down. We're looking at $2,691 a month. 25% down. Strategically speaking, $2,368 a month. Those are principal and interest numbers only. NMLS 217037. Hey, let's add. You got to add your taxes. You have to add the insurance. HOA is $300 a month. If there's any mortgage insurance, you got to put that on there. But just think about this. I mean, and I don't know, $3,500 a month seems kind of light to me too, just in what I'm seeing around. But hey, special agent Dunn is on the case.
Mike's probably wishing he had 4 of those.
Yeah, 429 Ridgeway in Irvine, $749,007 is the list price. If you want more information, give me a call at 800-306-1990. Again, that is from our friend Mike Dunn. So, Featured Home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. You gotta love the way these things play out. It's just a little more. You know, the fun part about this, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv or any of our socials, you know that we're live when you see the bloopers. Yeah. I don't even know. Do we have a blooper reel, Josh? We might need a blooper reel. So if you're listening to us on KMET AM 1490, the ABC News and Talk affiliate, or the video feed of AM 1490, you know, you're going to get the perfect version because Josh will make me look good. But, you know, the blooper, and if you're watching us, if you're with us, where's that one come from? Yeah. Okay, so if you Josh's bloopers too. Okay, so if you're watching us right now, just put a comment in the comments there. If you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, you can give them the authorization to show us who you are and, you know, comment on anything you like about the show. Sometimes we read them. Sometimes I'm a little slow, so a little simple here. So let's talk. We talked the opening segment. We never got back to it.
No, we never did.
Can't imagine Jim and I getting off on a rabbit trail. But so all that money was sitting in real estate.
We're talking about
equity.
What were we talking? $7 trillion?
$7 trillion.
$7 trillion of equity that America is sitting on. And then they sit there and they wonder, what should I do? I need to worry about my retirement and my investment. So if you're anywhere in your 40s and you're sitting on that equity, what are you thinking? I mean, it's Christmas time. So you're having a great time, but as you're sitting down just for a few minutes and making your plan for 2022, I mean, that $7 trillion is still going to be there.
Right.
Demand and supply are still going to be in the same situation. Interest rates might move a half a point, but that's still decent. I mean, you and I come from the land of 17%. 18%.
Right, exactly.
We've seen it.
So you asked me, I think you did it off air, but maybe you did it on air. My mind is a little bit slow. But $750,000 loan at I think this week's interest rate was 3.11. I think that's what the number was. Is that what it came out to? Yeah. Freddie Mac, so we're not going to give you APRs and all that other good stuff. Freddie Mac rate this week was 3.11. $750,000 loan. $3,206.70 a month.
Okay.
Now, I think we did the other day that by the end of next year, the average of all of the 4 biggies are saying 3.7 That comes out to $34.52. So being that I've got a simple mind, that's $250 a month more by waiting. Right? $30,000, $36,000 over the life of the loan.
Yeah.
No, $30,000, $3,000, $90,000 more.
Yeah. So
don't wait. That's the bottom line.
You know, it's if you want the under 2%, they have gone away for now. We're now moving from 2s to 3s. We're still looking really good. And it's a great time to still look at investment, because what's going to happen is it's also going to slow a little bit. It doesn't necessarily mean people will pause. They just naturally do. There's no reason to pause because prices.
What do you mean by
fall.
Pause for what?
They're just going to stop and say, you know what? I want to think about this. I want to see what's going to happen. I want to see what the government's going to do. I want to see what the Fed's going to do. I want to see. They pause.
Well, let's see. What are they going to do?
That's when it's your opportunity to get in there,
right?
Because you're not fighting 5 other guys for the property. You're not. I mean, I think.
So you're saying don't buy right now?
No, I'm saying this is where you got to be planned and get ready to buy, because it's Christmas time. You're probably not going to do much. It's Christmas, but so you should be not only celebrating Christmas and having a good time, get your plan ready for 2022. How many times did we talk about our planning? You talked about planning insurance yesterday.
Sure.
Are you talking about planning your investments for 2022, especially in real estate, so that you can take advantage of any kind of a pause where people are waiting? So
let's think about this, Jim. Federal Reserve has told us that they're going to, they're already tapering. Some of the Fed voting members want to increase the tapering. That means they're going to tighten the money supply.
Right.
Some want to increase interest rates. They don't control mortgage rates, but it does filter down.
Right.
We're not building any more houses.
Right.
Now, when the Federal Reserve increases interest rates or tightens the money supply, historically, the stock market goes down. But what else happens? Interest rates go down. Real estate values go up. Right? When the market is selling off, where are people going to put their money? Well, some of them put it into the bond market, some of them put it into the real estate market, and there's nothing to buy, which means there's more demand.
Right.
And there's still no supply. So that's why prices are going to continue to rise. Hopefully not at 30%, Phoenix. I know that you guys like that right now, but that's probably not where the best things are. But hey, the issue here is we want a stable market. So get into real estate. If you want to take money out of your property now, as Jim's suggesting, at a low interest rate, and think about this: if you've got 30% appreciation, so if you bought a house in 2019, the latter part of 2019, and you paid $500,000 for it, that house is probably right now selling for $650 to $700. Right. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, you put money down, so that's down money. Now, here's what I want you to think about. Go and take money out of that house right now, right? So you could probably take out that $200,000, give or take, and contemplate going and buying a new house for yourself, right? You can do that $1 million house with 5% down, right? So that's $100,000 down payment.
Right.
And you can go buy Mike Dunn's $750,000 house as a rental property. So now you've got a $1 million house for you. You've got that original $700,000 house. You just bought Dunn's $750,000 house. You've got $2.4 million in real estate because you did what Jim just said and take action.
And you started with $500,000 3 years ago.
Yeah, $500,000 that you might have done with an FHA loan at 3.5% down. Right?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Okay, so $250 a month. Let's see, that's cutouts a mocha every morning.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what? Don't go to dinner every Saturday.
Well, we just bought 2.4 million. We're now controlling 2.4 million in real estate, and we've got a $700,000 home that we're renting out and a $750,000 that we're renting out. And the likelihood is both of those are going to be on a positive cash flow. Right? So Think about those. And because we just went from a 1 million up to that 1 million, if you went from a FHA loan and you were paying that 0.85 in mortgage insurance, your mortgage insurance just dropped,
Mhm.
right? Because you're probably now right around a 0.5 maybe, right? So you're in many areas, you're way better off.
You're in a bigger, especially on the home you bought for yourself. Now you're in a little bit bigger. Let's say you were thinking about expanding your family. You know, the beauty would be is if you were older and you did this.
I am
and you
older. What are you talking about?
Well, older like
Not
us,
that old.
but you would be downsizing. You might not go to $1 million home. You might buy the 750, move into Mike Dunn's home. Then you sell your home and buy 2 other properties and be in the position you want to be. Because maybe you're in a 2-story.
Winner.
You want to go down to a 1-story.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily go to the young. It's also for the older, because you'll still end up in a great position. You could even end up to the point where your 2 rentals are paying for your 3rd home. And now you've just freed up a bunch of cash flow every month out of your retirement.
Isn't that amazing?
It is just absolutely fabulous if you just sit down and make a plan.
Yeah, it is. It's you got a plan. That's the bottom line. You want to chat? Give me a call, 800-306-1990. Vanessa, I see you. Yeah, I'll be here in the office this afternoon. And as always, what else are you gonna do? You got to call me, give a call, get set up, get some cash out. We'll put you in touch with Jim Norton, and he'll help you go and find some rental properties or a new house for yourself. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean, who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.